Well, I think the results of this election, how close it was, I think it shows you that uh, the things that he believes in, a lot of people in America believe in it as well, that we may not have thought they believed in it. We may not have thought that it was so widespread, but the how close this election was shows you that it is. And I think sometimes when you hear his Trump supporters, when they speak on why they voted on him, a lot of the things that they say is for them, that it's in their interest, it actually isn't. Like, a lot of people tend to say that our economy, we need help, we need boost, and Trump has this is mindset, and he's going to take us out of it. When really, when you say that someone has this mindset, they have a capitalistic mindset. So in capitalism, what they focus on is results in products and the money you get out of it, essentially. So when you have someone like that in an office, the first thing that they tend to put on is education on the table. They tend to do education cuts, and that's going to affect us as college students. Financial aid is going to get cut. The first thing that's probably going to go on that table is top 10%, and that's what makes this school full of minorities. That's what we have to get into this school. So when that's taken out of the table, UT's not going to look like this. And we don't even look diverse. There's 3% of us here. There's about 20% of Hispanics here. It's not going to look like that in the next 4 years. And I just think that some people who are saying, as a college student, that this is my interest and this guy is going to do this for me, just realize what the results are for what you're talking about. It may not be the results that you think it is. And I just couldn't use this out. You just ended.
Um, my personal thoughts on this, I'm a journalism major, is that we have not been paying attention to what people are saying, because obviously this is the problem. And in America, we have this stringing over us. Like I was telling them, it's really about education. We are starting to realize how many uneducated people there are out in the world. We live in Austin. We live in a very liberal city. The places that voted Democratic are very liberal cities, like in Texas, Houston, Dallas, Austin. But Texas is huge, and there are a lot more people living out in the rural communities that went to the polls and voted, and this is the result of that action. And now we just have to learn. We have to listen to people, what they're saying. Doesn't mean that you agree. You just have to have a conversation, because that's the only thing. That's the only way things are gonna get fixed. We can't be out here fighting people. We got to teach them, because obviously that's the barrier between us. They're not educated. We're educated about something, and we got to educate each other. We got to listen to what they're saying, and they got to listen to what we're saying. And I think that's the only way we're really going to see something positive happen. Otherwise, yeah.
Are you happy with the result of the election?
Personally, no. But it happened, and we got to look at it in a positive way. Like, what can we learn from this? We got to be able to talk to each other and figure out what to do next, because I don't think anybody is really for food. Yeah, it's nothing at this point. It's nothing we can do. It's just yeah.
But I think the positivity we can take out of that is that like this is a moment for us to learn. Like, hey, we talk about how this may be a possibility, and we're like against it. But when it happens, then you have to go out and do something about it. You have to have these conversations about it. You can't sit around and keep saying the same things. Exactly. So I mean, regardless if this was the outcome I wanted, at least we're talking about it. At least we're here. Like, we know we have to make a change because something happened that we didn't want to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we go to UT. We're very educated. We know, like we're educated, but we only live in Austin. Like, we're not going out into the country parts and the rural parts and talking to these people. We talk to each other, and we think we're progressing. We're not as progressive as you thought we were. And, you know, we gotta to make our entire country.
And he knew that.
Yeah,
He ran the right election. He played on that because he went out there and he said things that people feel inside, and they don't want to go out and say it. But he was out there on a public stage, on a public platform, saying all those things that they believe in, and that opened our eyes.
Yeah, and he spoke to people that had never been spoken to before.
Exactly. People were looking like, yeah, that's how I feel, and I'm gonna go vote for you. Yeah.
And so it's like the large majority of America that we haven't been recognizing. And so now we got the recognition in the face that taken as a joke, the new face or there, when we should have been really paying attention and actually thinking of the possibility that he was going to really, instead of thinking like, oh, it's a joke, his little got it, she made a mistake, she still got it. No, we should have took it seriously. Yeah, I think he learned that we need to listen.
Yeah, when even instead of yelling at each other, but for each other with opinions, because I feel like that's how I was not to address them all here.
Because he listened to their voices, at least we never listened to, you never took them seriously.
Yeah.
And now,
And if you look at the polls of like 2008, 2012, who voted for Obama, like let's say Trump was winning Ohio, Michigan, right? Those states that Pennsylvania, those states in 2008 and 2012 who voted for Obama. So it makes you think like, did they just like switch their mindsets, or what did he really get to them? Did they not see the outcomes that they wanted that happened in the government? So they were like, okay, we're gonna go radically like right. We're gonna go opposite of what's in power right now and see if it does make a difference. And I think like we just have to be very, very, very careful. Like a lot of people tend to look at candidates and vote for them for one issue and not look at their stands on their overall aspects on other things and how it's going to affect you. Because if you're focusing on he's a Republican or something and he's going to have all my interests because I'm a Republican, look at what he's actually saying. Like, are those really in your interest? And you have to evaluate. Don't just look at the surface. Don't just look at, oh, he's going to do this. Look at how that's going to impact your life.
also, I feel really upset about Make America Great Again. Like, minorities don't make up America. Like, America is a minority state. Like, not one of us is originally cut. Well, it's such a narrative. It's just a very small percentage. But like, this is like,
He has immigrant parents.
exactly. So this is an immigrant state. So I mean, country. Sorry. And like, just to kind of cut certain people out was just it really is.
Because certain people out because of their religion, because it's color of their skin, or where they came from, where they stem from, that's right. But
And when people tell me that they vote for him, but they don't believe those things that he's saying, oh, I'm voting for him because of this, not because of that. No, you are voting for him because of that. You can't just disregard everything he is. No, I don't believe that. And that the fact that him saying all those things don't bother you, don't trouble you on the inside, yeah, makes me think you're like either immune to it or you agree with it. So I don't think you can separate the things. You can't pick and choose.
If you're endorsing like racism and white supremacy and all the things that he stands for, then what does that make you?
if I just feel it's like, it's just.
And the high percentage of, not to call out anybody, but we looked at the polls and they put it up there and they wouldn't call out the group, but it clearly said the high percentage was it white women, working white. It was literally put up, but they just didn't want to call it out because, exactly.
But it's not a race thing. Yeah, it's not a race thing.
Yeah, and then the day he's still, and it's always gonna be a businessman. So watch out.
True. And you see how good he ran his business. So, like, what's it?
For sure. So what are we doing from here? What do we do next? I mean, we know like what just happened. We know was why it happened. So all we good.
I mean, you made a great point that this says a lot about us and what we haven't been paying attention to, and how we all as Americans need to use more.
Right. I said earlier, it's education. It's like we think we're progressive. We're progressive standing in the circle, but there are a bajillion other people outside that are not as progressive as us, like what what we think. And I mean, there are people on this campus that are not as progressive, and so they're now having a chance to speak out. Like, we push this progressive thoughts onto them, and they're like, okay, now I'm having to accept. Now you have the savior guy that's like, hey, you don't need to be as progressive as these people want.
At the end of the day, you have to listen to your voice, because once you cut out somebody from the equation, they're gonna automatically go yes. So at the end of the day, we're gonna have to learn how to listen more, learn how to listen, give feedback, understand somewhere in this, and communicate.
And he was like their savior, like you said. They sat in and listened. And probably not even listen, he just what they were saying.